Hey guys, it's Jay with the Douchebag Brigade, and today I'm going to be hitting a topic that is going to certainly piss people off, and we're going to be discussing why Persona 1, Persona Revelations, or Persona PSP is actually pretty much the best Persona. Now, I am not saying that it's better than 5 or 3, in my opinion. They're all pretty much on even playing field. However, and honestly, I did a tier list and I put 1 lower than 2, and I think 3 and 5. But rethinking about it, I kind of put 1 much higher the more I consider the enjoyment I got out of it. A lot of people don't like Persona 1 for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one is usually that they don't like the translation changes, in which case the PSP version, which is the one that I played and completed, it's right on par. They go back to the Tokyo concept as opposed to an American kind of change of pace. And it's fantastic. Like, people don't give enough credit to what was created here. Remember, this is really the ideas formulated from SMT-if, Shin Megami Tensei-if, and which is basically Persona 0. And honestly, to come away with something like Persona 1 or Persona Revelations, it's really impressive. The game itself continues with the Persona or the SMT demon negotiation kind of concept, but completely translates it into the Persona aspect. And really, that's the best of both worlds. I mean, you missed that in Persona 3 and 4. I'm happy to see it return in 5. The negotiation is really fun, and it really adds a lot to the game itself. Another thing that people really don't like is the first-person dungeons. I can't fault you guys there, because the first-person dungeons, yeah, they're pretty annoying. However, it's really only first-person in the school. I mean, when you go to certain dungeons, you're usually in third-person. And more so, the first-person side of it, I mean, let's be fair, this was coming off of the SMT style, which was always first person. And if we go deeper than that, think about this for a minute. Persona 1 has a first person style in a few places, but really, you've probably all played Strange Journey or Strange Journey Redux, and probably enjoyed it, as I did. That kind of first person dungeon is a lot more hectic than this. Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2, or if, those are dungeons. Those are first-person dungeons. These are more like first-person walks in the park. Yeah, you might not like it from a graphical standpoint, or an idea that this is the PlayStation and we should get more out of it, but, I mean, to be fair, they were just keeping certain things to what their fans had already expected. I mean, bringing it here was already a risk in itself, bringing it to the United States. I mean, they took a gamble that by the third entry, obviously, Persona 3 FES ended up paying off for them, but especially with 4. But let's be honest, if we go and we look back at 1, that's a huge reason why people don't like it, and it's really not that bad of a concept. Now, to be fair, most people like myself, I started with Nocturne, SMT Nocturne, and Persona 3 FES. So the first time I played 2, I was thrown back a little bit just by the battle system, and that's an even bigger issue with 1. The battle system is this sort of, in a way, auto battle, but you have a lot of control, which makes it very tactical. And I think that these guys were really thinking to go with the strategy RPG aspect of things here. I really think that was the initial plan, because when you think about it, from a strategy game standpoint, a lot of times you make decisions, but you don't have full control. And if you've played either Innocent Sin or Eternal Punishment or 1, you'll see that you can interrupt the commands to change up certain things, but it plays from a very strategic standpoint where you're entering the battle, putting in what you want them to do, and then they kind of go in an auto format, and you watch the battle as it goes, but you're strongly involved because with some battles you're constantly changing up what you use. So it's not really fully strategy, but it's definitely in the line. You can see where they were going with this. And another reason why I say that is whenever you see the tactical aspect here, you'll see that there's a grid. Oh, I know I'm pissing people off bringing up all the things they don't like, but I'm trying to help you guys get a spin on this, because really, when you think about it, that tactical grid, it adds a layer of enjoyment that I actually feel like Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment didn't have. The fact that I have to be in a certain area to use a certain move because of either its range or its scope. I mean, if you're jumping on the Fire Emblem bandwagon, you guys should be all gung-ho with the SRPG kind of concepts. A little bit of or TRPG. A little bit of tactics never hurt anyone. And if anything, aren't we really here to play an SMT game or a Megaten game? And we expect a certain level of difficulty. So, yeah, it might be, painful to have to sit there and redo stuff and figure out certain things and make sure you angle it right, or you have the right amount of spaces to use an attack, but that's what makes it fun. Not to mention, another thing that makes this so great, this game, Persona 1, you actually see more than just ranking up of your demons. You actually see them level up. And outside of the handheld games and Last Bible 3, this is pretty much the only time you see that, and Majin Tensei. You don't usually get to see the demons level up. Yes, they also rank up like in 2, which is another cool aspect of it, and you can turn them into items and special things once you've gotten them to their full rank, and you can see mutations and other parts of the game that are really cool that you don't see in Persona 3, 4, and 5. You don't really see a lot of the mutation concepts or the fusion spells, just a little bit in 3, but really the bigger aspect, you don't see the mutated stats, you don't see the mutations in general in Persona. And I think that's a letdown, because I really think that there's a lot of fun and enjoyment to be had when you can do certain things. I really think it changes up the gameplay and the overall feeling that you get when playing a game like this. And keep in mind, I'm a big fan of Persona 3 FPS. I enjoyed Persona 4. I'm not like the biggest cheerleader on it. I liked what it improved over battle-wise, but I'm more of an SMT person at heart, or a Devil Survivor person, because those are fantastic games. If you haven't played them, not to go on a side note, but you need to play those. They're pretty much the best SRPGs I may have ever played, and I've played a lot of them. So you definitely have to give that a try if you have not. But let me digress and get back to the point. Not to go side questing and digressing. But, so, think about this. You have the concept of a regular Persona game, and you get to see where the foundations of this all started from. But think about the joy and how cool it is that there's something more to it. There's a change on the norm. Of course, if Persona 3, 4, and 5 are the norm, then this is a slight deviation, but it should give you time to pause and realize that there's just more to it. You get to have more fun, and you get to make sure that you're doing things that you want to do. And I think that instead of taking this as a negative, I think we should more often than not take it as a positive. I mean, I have fun with this game. That's the thing. This is a game where if you put a little time in it, you're really going to enjoy it. And I know a lot of people are skeptical and don't feel as though this is a great game or an awesome game, but that's where I think they're wrong. I think this might be the best Persona game I've played in a retrospect point of view. Because I can quickly play 5 and say this is a fantastic game. But at the same time, I don't really have the same concepts and ability to play one and think. You know what? It took me really thinking about it to realize how great one was. I know people disagree, but you have to actually take a second to sit back and think about it. Think about the story. Think about the concepts. Think about the battle and what's involved, the details and the intricacies of the personas and the battles involved. I really think you have to sit there and think about that tactical grid more. I think you need to think about what this game is when it was made and compare it. Because, yeah, you might want more of the same 3, 4, and 5. But to have something slightly different, and not so different to where you feel like when they screw up your favorite games, this is just different enough to give you joy and allow you some fun. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I would love some comments, likes, dislikes. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And certainly, I'm happy to have discussions about this below. Feel free to leave some brutal comments, as I'm sure I will get for this particular post. So, this is Jay with the Douchebag Brigade, and I'm out.